Alright, today we have one goal and one goal only, and that is to make Nidus look cool. So, I have been playing Nidus a lot for the past couple days that he's been out. Y'all's customization options for Nidus are hideous, so we are going to figure out how to make Nidus look sick, no matter what type of colors you wish to use on him. And having said that, let's take a look at what his colors actually affect. So, his primary, secondary, and tertiary colors affect this white, that's his primary. His secondary affects this tan on his leg, and his tertiary affects this black that you're seeing. His accent color affects this sort of, I'm going to call it his blood, or like his flesh. It affects all of that. And his energy color affects not only the glow effect that will be on all of your flesh, but also the color of your mutation stuff when it comes out. Let me differentiate those two. So as you can see, I've dropped in a dark blue and a bright red. And the dark blue affects this on the head, and as you see on most of his body, it is mixed with the red to create a sort of purple. However, when the mutation comes out, that's all red, only red. So for the most part, your accent tone is going to mix with your energy color, except on his head, but your energy color will stand alone on the infestation on his back. Somewhat more importantly, the energy color has an enormous effect on his actual abilities, and when you create infestation, you are going to overwhelmingly experience the energy color. So if it is rather muted on the frame itself, I would not worry about overemphasizing that. You're going to see it a lot on his abilities. So you can play around with colors like that, but one of the major things that you can do to make Nidus look very different without making him look bad is changing whether these primary, secondary, and tertiary tones are dark or light. So as you can see here, we have primary being light, secondary being light with some contrast, and then tertiary being dark. But here's the opposite. So now primary is the darkest, secondary is contrast with that, and tertiary is the lightest. And as you can see, it looks weird when you look at them side by side, but it still looks good, especially from the back. So I've got 3 different appearance styles for you. The first one has his primary as the lightest color, then the second one has the tertiary as the lightest color. So for this first one, I decided that I wanted to try making a Nidus customization that had the color not in his energy. So as you can see, my main color here is red, and it's not my energy. My energy is just white. So you have this sort of washed out, kind of vampiric, dead looking frame. Makes him look organic, but not alive. I think it's pretty cool. It's very matte and flat. As you can see, primary is the lightest color here, and then I have tertiary as a dark color, but it matches my main accent color, which is on my secondary. That affects these parts of his body, and I think is the best place if you're going to emphasize a color with the frame's body. And then I just have his blood being black and his energy being white. You could reverse those, and I'm sure it would look really weird too, but I do want my abilities to be bright. This might be a little bit too bright though, I don't know. So that's what he looks like this. For the second one, I went for a plant-based theme. My girlfriend told me that she thought that Nidus looked organic, but like a plant, not like a creature. So I thought it would be cool to try to create a soil or like tree-based one, and here's what I've got. As I said before, this one is based on having the tertiary as the lightest color. I think it's pretty cool because these little nubs on his ankles look kind of like bone, and in fact a lot of it looks a bit bone. So I have this washed out orichalcum color, and it's pretty nice. I think it takes it pretty well. And then I have soil tones for the primary and the secondary. As you see, the primary is the darkest, and then the secondary goes from there. And then we have green and a lighter green for the accent and energy colors. As you see, this creates a slightly more unified look, like his infested form looks like he's simply sprouted. It doesn't look like something different has happened, so that is a possible thing that you can do as well. I think this one turned out kind of nice. He does look a lot like Groot, but that is a-okay by me. So those were my examples, but here is my personal colors that I use for Nidus. So as you can see, I have a grayscale sort of theme. It's a little bit colder, not so much warm tones, but still kind of fleshy, still not totally saturated. Make sure you keep things a little more muted. And then I have an orange for my accent color and a very sharp blue for my energy mutation color. The reason I chose these two is because I like him to look sort of different, like he has a different energy color almost when he's not mutated. So see how he looks mostly orange now, but then when you mutate, the predominant color is blue. So one trick that can help you look this way is if you go to your accessories, make sure you color them all your accent color. So see, I've made the energy color here this orange, and now it kind of looks like I'm just orange. It doesn't look like I have any blue in me, but when you hit the mutation, suddenly I look really blue, and it creates an actual difference between the two stages instead of making them meld. Sometimes it's cool to have them meld, but if you want that effect, that is how I'd recommend doing that. You can see here another example of the Rathkatag cloak not clipping with stuff. Just a lot of things not clipping with stuff. I personally think the Pakal chest piece looks real good on Nidus, so. And there you go. Last but not least, we have to mention this stupid little red thing. Look at this. You see that right there? It's hard to even notice it, but because it's the wrong color, it just sticks. DE, why do you do this? What is this? It's like a little. I was talking to Potato here, and he says it's like a little self-destruct button. Like, yeah, it literally is. Why would you put that? What is this? Go away. So I hope you've enjoyed this sort of like appearance build video for Nidus. I hope that you're enjoying Nidus a lot. If you have not checked out my previous video where I celebrate hitting 1,000 subscribers and ask you for your input on what we should make a build video on Nidus for, go check that out right here. And I'll see you all next time. The next video is probably going to be Nidus's build, and I'm super excited for it because I have a bunch of janky stuff to show off. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.